set schedule.
Yeah.
And then it caught us both by surprise.
Yeah. It's 7 o'clock. We call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum with Melissa and, excuse me, and Kay being absent tonight. Melissa's got her third case of the shingles, so. Welcome, everybody, and we'll open the meeting with a moment of silence that you can observe as you feel appropriate. Thank you. Now, if you'd stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I don't think we'll go to 9:30 tonight, but we'll see. Are we having your recognitions award, Dr. Randall?
No, sir, Mr. President, we do not.
Any introductions?
No, sir, we do not.
Audience patrons?
Yes, Mr. President. We are now at the portion of the meeting when the board allots time to hear persons who desire to make comments to the board. Persons who wish to speak to the board must sign up to do so as they arrive, and they must indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. No presentation shall exceed 5 minutes. Delegations of more than 5 persons shall appoint one person to present their views. The board will hear the concerns, but the board cannot deliberate, discuss, or make a decision on any subject that is not posted on the agenda. Persons who speak to the board cannot complain about a district officer or employee in open session. Such concerns are heard in closed session after proper posting of the agenda item has occurred. As you come forward, please state your name and your address, please. Our first speaker is Cheryl Morris.
The 5 wide-ranging themes that have been prioritized based on input from the listening tour gives reason to be concerned about the strategic plan, as well as being able to understand what are the specific strategies that are going to be introduced and implemented in order to meet and help as an ongoing process to accomplish the goals for each priority. On page 1 of the Strategic Planning Listening Tour report, it states the plan will not outline every strategy that the district will take to make progress on these priorities. That task will remain with the Board of Trustees and district leadership after the strategic plan is approved. And on page 2, it states the board will review and adopt the plan in April. My concerns are if the board is prepared to adopt the plan in April, but the plan will not include outlined strategies, will there be additional input, and if so, by whom? Also, when and where will that take place? Will the possible strategies be shared with parents before being implemented? Also, since the strategic plan will be presented and adopted in April, how will it affect our district improvement plan and our campus improvement plans? Both are requirements of TEC sections 11.251 through 11.253, and these will not be presented until after the strategic plan. It is reasonable to request that these crucial concerns be addressed. Another concern is inclusive of our community, but also goes beyond here and throughout our spacious state. The Texas House of Representatives Committee on Public Schools Finance has voted out of their committee House Bill 3, which is repealing the gifted and talented allotment. School districts will still be required to provide testing and a diagnostic process, as well as services to those who meet the requirements, so many students will be fine. Unfortunately, there are some students who could fall through the cracks because the system is not set in place for what they might need to fully succeed. GT students have an innate ability that does not pick a boy or a girl, a race, or rich or poor. Some school districts have an outlined GT program and will probably maintain what they have, but there are districts that do not, and proposed legislation certainly is not motivation to create one now. Even though districts can be penalized for not providing services, it is very important to worry about the students who truly can benefit from GT best practices, and especially those without an advocate, because there are always loopholes and creative ways of lumping things together to say this is a GT program. I know of at least one ISD superintendent who has already spoken up and assured the students, teachers, parents, and community that no matter what happens with the allotment, their program will not be adversely affected in any way. During our very first Parent Advisory Committee meeting on March 8, 2016, there was a vote for recommendations on time for the elementary pull-out program. There were 56 votes out of 96 to increase it by 30 minutes, which would be 120 minutes, and 24 votes out of 96 to increase it to twice its amount, which would be 180 minutes. Either way, 5 out of 6 attendees, 83%, voted for an increase. Nothing was ever done with either recommendation. Since about 2017, I have been asking about this, as well as other provisions to improve services for GT students and our program, because this is compliant under the current Texas State Plan. After attending campus meetings and several district meetings, I have never heard any discussions about GT updates and/or improvements. Because of all that is going on, local and statewide, it would be reassuring if you would also address that our GT program will not only be maintained, but that it will in fact thrive with added improvements for elementary and secondary education. Thank you.
That's all, Mr. President.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to get a motion to approve the minutes of the February 19th, 2019 special meeting.
I'll make the motion. I'll second it.
Do that second. Any questions, discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Thank you. Need a motion to approve the minutes of the February 21st, 2019 regular board meeting, please.
I'll make the motion.
Do you have a second to that?
I'll second.
Any questions or discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? There are none. Thank you. Board member reports.
Technology Committee met this afternoon. A few of the topics we discussed is the disaster recovery and the business continuity plan. The plan is nearing completion. For the network services, the uninterruptible power supplies, the district has several smaller UPSs that are failing. This project will be funded on the 2014 bond funds dictated to UPS replacements. Firewall upgrades, the district's current aging firewall needs replacing to protect the district from cybersecurity threats. An item for the firewall upgrade should be on the April agenda. Lastly, the computer refresh. Approximately 82 student laptops, 4,000 staff laptops, and 350 desktop computers have reached their end of life and no longer meet district requirements for performance and reliability. And there is an item on the agenda for that tonight.
Thanks, Joe. Kathy.
Okay. We had our board facilities meeting today, and I'll go over the 2014 bond summary that Mr. Jim Rice gave us an update on. Under new maintenance and operations facilities, the warranty corrections are being addressed. There were some issues there, and the 11-month walkthrough is underway. The HVAC web-based controls, we should expect to get a final acceptance planned for April's board meeting. The district-wide access controls, the closeout documents are underway, and we should be receiving that in June at the board meeting. The following schools are now on schedule for completion. Thomas Culver Elementary, we should see a conclusion on July the 1st. Roberts Middle School, June the 30th. The Support Services Facility, May 31st. And tonight on our agenda, we will be asked to approve the contractor for the Tamaron Elementary School and the project closeout for the district-wide site lighting. And the good report is we are having a lot of completions in the next 3 months. Then we also heard a report for the 2017 bond from Mr. Kevin McKeever and Mr. Jim Rice. The facilities and planning weekly meeting with PBK Architects and Lamar will be starting on Friday, March the 22nd. The classroom intruder equipment installment, all the electrified hardware is installed. The classroom security latch bolts installation is complete. The Williams Elementary renovations proposals were over the budget, so it was being re-advertised, and the new proposals will be opened on April the 4th. And I made my notes so I would get it in order. Re-roofing projects at Austin and Seguin should be completed in April. And the remaining Terry High and George Junior High new cafeteria serving lines will have a summer 2019 installation time schedule. The, excuse me, the Foster High School athletic improvement project. This will be the baseball, softball dugouts, the backstops, and the replacement of the lockers in the field house. The good news is we are going to be asked to contractor recommendation on tonight's board agenda, and the whole project is under budget. I'm getting a little excited because I keep seeing under budget, so I'm trying to be calm about this. The high school number 6 and the junior high number 6 are ongoing. There are meetings with the TxDOT, the Fort Bend County Engineering. The traffic study is in progress, and the guaranteed maximum price is scheduled for our April board meeting. The synthetic turf and track projects are all under budget, and the synthetic turf installations will be at Foster, Fulsher, George Ranch, and Terry High School. This also includes a track replacement at Foster High and Trailer Stadium. And we will be asked to approve a contractor on tonight's agenda. And I think I have pretty well put everything down. I wanted to emphasize under budget. I think everybody is doing a very good job. Well done. Thank you. I do have a report that I did attend the winter conference.
Good.
That's why I was not here at the last board meeting.
Okay.
And I wanted to say just a little bit about it, about 2 words, not really, 2 paragraphs. One thing I found at this conference, they included a lot of the students. A lot of the students did the presentations. They talked to us individually. And one suggestion that I kept hearing over and over again was allowing the high school students representation on our board. They don't get a vote, but they have a voice. And this seems to be a widespread ideal for everybody, and the students were all for it. So I just want to suggest maybe we should look into how do we get our high schools a representative, and maybe have one every 2 months come and join us during our workshop, because that's basically where we do all our work and our talking, and that I'd like to see that happen. Research had shown that the dropout rates, student achievement, and the workforce readiness will improve as a result of this increased integration of student voice in the classrooms and in the community. So I was very proud to be able to go to that. I want to thank y'all for letting me go. I attended one more workshop, and it was entitled, which I am right now, Anxiety, Worry, and Panic: The Effective Strategies to Calm the Anxious Mind. And just the fact that we have been addressing and trying to understand the mental wellness I discovered that that begins on the day the child is born. That surprised me. And I think the more we learn about mental health, we need to support the programs that we have here. And I just wanted to reassure everybody that this is a serious issue, and hopefully we can support all of you guys as much as we can. And Teacher of the Year banquet?
Yes.
I'm going to let you talk about that one.
I'll let Tyson talk about that.
It was a very festive, very fun night honoring all the teachers and paras of the year. It was great vibe, great food. It was excellent.
And congratulations all of them. That's quite an honor. Any other reports? All right, thank you very much, Dr. Randall.
You do not have a report, Mr. President.
All right, it's time we'll establish our consent agenda. Item A1, A2, B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B7, B8, B9, B10, B11, B12, B13, B14, B15. If you remember on Tuesday we pulled B16, that's being rebid. B17, B18, B19, B20, B21, B22, B23, B24, C1, D1, D2, and D3. Consent agenda includes all items except B16. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, there are none. Thank you. At this point, we'd like to read the resolutions. Who has the Educational Administrative Professionals Week?
I do. 1 second.
All right.
Let me find it.
Page 42.
43.
43.
Whereas educational administrative professionals are valuable members of educational teams in schools and their administrative operations, and whereas educational administrative professionals contribute in many ways beyond their most recognizable function as an administrative assistant, and whereas their assistance is particularly important in the daily activities and operations of a school district, and whereas educational administrative professionals serve our educational community by providing support for students and staff, and whereas educational administrative professionals assist school and district personnel as trusted communicators with parents and community members, and whereas their connection to the community aids in communication and positive public relations within the community. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 22nd through 26, 2019 as Educational Administrative Professionals Week, and encourages members of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District staff and community to express appreciation to our educational administrative professionals. Adopted this 21st day of March 2019.
Thank you. Librarians Week.
Whereas school librarians play a critical role in the education process through involvement in reading and research, and whereas school librarians serve as an instructor for early literature appreciation and share a unique knowledge of literature as a way to learn and as a recreational pastime, and whereas school librarians serve as a resource director for each campus, as well as provide instructional support for teachers and students, and whereas school librarians teach students to use research as an extension of the learning process that will help students throughout their educational career, and whereas school librarians play an important role in curriculum development, textbook selection, and review of instructional materials. And whereas school librarians maintain a knowledge of instructional technology and educational programs that serve as a resource to students and staff. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 7th through April 13th, 2019 as Librarians Week, and encourages all members of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District staff and community to express appreciation to our school librarians. Adopted this day, 21st day of March in 2019.
Thank you. And the resolution for public school volunteer appreciation.
Whereas parent and family involvement in children's lives is critical to their success as children and adults, and whereas volunteering is one of the most important aspects of parent involvement, and whereas volunteers are invaluable to our schools, teachers, and students by greatly extending and increasing the district's resources, and whereas the goal of Volunteer Appreciation Week is to bring a greater awareness and demonstrate appreciation for the many hours of labor provided by the volunteers in our schools. Therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District declares the week of April 22nd through 26th, 2019 to be Public School Volunteer Appreciation Week in the Lamar Consolidated Independent School District, adopted this 21st day of March, 2019.
Thank you. Under our information items, I believe Mr. Rockwood has the new process for our selecting the schools for naming.
It's not necessarily new, it's
Yeah, not necessarily, just
Thank you.
Chris formalizing it, I guess.
Yes. We're just formalizing the process.
Right, so we went back and we looked at the process that the board implemented for the previous naming cycle. And so if you looked at the directions there, the board would select 10 names, unranked, by next Friday. And then we would create a list, give that back to the board, and then any nomination that received 2 or more votes from the board, you would look at that list and then try and break that down for 3 recommendations for the 2 elementary sites, 2 recommendations for the junior high site, and 2 recommendations for the high school site. A name could appear in any category, and this is just a replication of the process that you all used the last time. Then y'all would have going from exactly 80 names down to something a bit more manageable for next month's decision.
Great. Thank you for clarifying that for us. Appreciate it. Any questions? I'm going to question the board if we need to go into closed session to talk about any personnel issues, because you had that in your board packet. And if you have no questions on that, to go into closed sessions, I would entertain a motion for the Board of Trustees to approve personnel as presented.
They don't.
Pardon me?
They don't have a copy of it.
I know. I'm asking.
Oh, you asking them.
I'm
Oh,
asking
you're
them.
doing it, okay.
I'll make the motion.
All right.
All right. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, are none. Thank you. I'd ask that for a motion that the Board of Trustees approve the extension of administrative contracts as presented in the addendum.
I'll make a motion.
Do I have a second to that?
I'll second.
Any discussion or questions? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, there are none. Thank you. That takes care of those personnel issues. Any future agenda items?
I'd like to add one. I don't know who would be in charge of putting this together, but some sort of a plan to get a high schooler or a rotating high schooler from each one of the schools to be at our workshops, like they had said, on a monthly or every other month basis.
You like that idea, don't you?
I think it would be something we should entertain,
Yep.
yes.
All right.
It would be hard to do.
Thank you. Anything else? Any upcoming meetings, events that we don't already know about, we need to have highlighted? no other business to bring forward the board, we'll make up for the other night, and we'll adjourn this meeting at 7:25. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.